So hi, welcome to the Good Noise Podcast. I'm Shane,
I'm Glory.
and we're here with,
And I'm Tim from Urethane.
and we're gonna ask them some questions today about their new album, Chasing Horizons. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to it so far?
I feel like it's been really good, actually. Excuse me. Yeah, we didn't really know what to expect as far as response goes because this is like a brand new project, but it's been great. Haven't heard a whole lot of negative stuff, but at the same time, I kind of get a kick out of the negative stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It's like it can be funny. It can be true. So I don't know. I like hearing everybody's perspective, no matter where it comes from.
All right. Well, I
That's
thought
fair.
the album rocked, so no negative feedback
You can
over
tell
here.
when people
hmm
are like trying to be mean and
Yeah,
just be dicks for no reason. But
Exactly, for no reason.
yeah, some of them are just funny.
I
That's
know.
good. I also thought the album rocked, banged, even. I thought it was very good. I
Oh,
thought it was good. I did enjoy it. Uh,
thank you.
so, is there any meaning behind the album title Chasing Horizons and the cover art?
The album title comes from the song Wyoming. Um, it was actually thought of by our bass player Chad, who just kind of thought that it was like a good synopsis for the entire record. The record came together, the band came together really quickly. Last January is when we formed.
Damn.
And Chad pretty much had us talking with Jen from Cybertracks before he even started practicing with us.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, everything just snowballed really quickly, and we were in the recording studio in April, doing 12 songs that we barely finished. So
Yeah.
and we were still writing in the studio. So yeah, the whole thing just kind of felt like we were chasing this horizon as soon as we could get there. So that's where it comes from. And the album art is actually from Mark DeSalvo. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but he's done like a zillion punk rock covers,
Mhm.
mostly Fat Record stuff. I mean, you name it, he's done it. He's done No Use for a Name, No Effects. The list goes on, but you can kind of tell his artwork after a while. It's great stuff. And we were in the recording studio, and we were looking through his page on Instagram, and there was a piece that he had done that he was giving away to a friend, and it is the one that we used, and it kind of looks, to me, it looks like a horizon or a fire, however you want to interpret that. But we were like, this is perfect.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
we reached out to him, and we were like, hey, we wanted to use this for our album cover. And he was like, oh yeah, for sure, you guys can have it. And so he was super cool. He ended up being he is a good friend of ours, and he helps us with a lot of stuff, art wise, graphic design wise. So good dude.
I love that.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So can you tell us a little about your writing process for this album?
So the writing was, I was in a band for the last 5 years, kind of more of a hardcore band called War Fever here in San Diego. And we were playing a ton of shows, and then the pandemic hit and everything shut down. So during that time, the first few months of the pandemic, to keep myself busy, I just busted out my songbook and went through the 100 unfinished songs that I had.
Mhm.
And so I just started working on songs without like any regard to, oh, this should be like a hardcore song, this should be whatever. I was just writing songs that felt true to me.
Mhm.
I was going through, like a lot of people were going through at that time, like a little bit of depression, a little bit of anxiety. We didn't know what was going on here. So I think the music or the lyrics came out a little bit more emotional than I normally would write.
Mhm.
So I finished a few songs and just didn't really, I thought that they would be cool. They were acoustic songs, and I thought they would be cool if they had drums. And a friend of mine, Jeff Forrest, who owns Double Time Studios, I know that he plays drums, and I just called him up and I was like, what are you doing? He's like, nothing. Nobody's coming in.
Yeah.
So, I went down there. He helped me like rearrange the songs. He played drums on them. We were just having fun and recording them. So I came up with these 5 songs, and I was just going to release them under a fun little pseudonym on social media and call it quits. And like a week before it was going to release on all the digital platforms, I was on Instagram and I saw that Steve Caballero was in a band and he was looking for a singer in his band. And I was like, oh, I'll throw my hat in the ring, and just because I felt like, to me, Steve Caballero is an icon. And I felt like I'll shoot this out to him and I'll never hear from him. So it was just kind of one of those fun things. And so I sent him a couple of songs, and the next day he got back to me and he was like, I like this music. And I was like, this wasn't supposed to work, you know? So I was really stoked, and it turns out he lives a few miles from me here in Carlsbad. And so we met up and we talked music, and he was just telling me like he really liked the music that I was doing, but it was like pretty different from what his band was doing. And I think he was wanting me to get into his band, but he knew that his bandmates weren't going to dig my voice or style. But he's like, whatever, I'll try it anyways. And I listened to some of the stuff they were doing, and it was like, it was kind of more aggressive, and I was kind of like, I was already doing that. I kind of wanted to do something different. So yeah, he brought some songs to his bandmates, and sure enough, they were like, nah, it's like a little too soft. So he came back and he was like, yeah, man, I told my bandmates that I'm gonna do something with you, so I quit. And I was
what?
Like, really?
Oh.
So we're doing this. And
So
yeah, that was kind of the start of it. And he was like, yeah, man, this is the direction I want to go. It's what you're doing. So let's start something. And I was like, awesome.
Okay.
And I reached out to a drummer here in town that I know has played in some awesome bands, and he wasn't doing anything either. So we all kind of got together. We were a 3-piece for a while, for like a year, just kind of nothing too serious, because again, nothing was happening. So we would just meet up at a rehearsal studio and run through songs. And Steve at the time was playing bass, and one day he's just like, you know, I don't want to play guitar. And I had a friend, Chad, who was like really wanting to get into this project. And he plays bass. He's a really good bass player. He's a singer for a band called Skipjack that's been around for 25 years.
Wow.
And so everything came together just really quickly. Chad had a copy of the 5 demo songs that I had, and he is friends with Jenna Beta from Cybertracks. And without me knowing, he sent a copy to her, and he was like, hey, this is this new project that I'm going to get involved in. And he kind of sent it to her as like a friend, like not like, hey, sign us or anything. It was just, this is kind of what I'm doing, check it out. And she was like, if you need any support or you want to put any of this out, let me know. And so that first day that he came to practice, we all played, and at the end of practice, he's like, hey, I have a record deal for us if we want it.
Oh my God.
Wow.
You know, right after that, Chad and I went up to LA. We hung out with Jen, we talked, and she was like, let's do this. So yeah, it was just like one thing after another. And we recorded all of April. And I don't know if this is, I'm probably really just babbling on now. I don't even remember what your question was, but
writing process.
You're doing great.
You're doing great though.
So yeah, after came out, let's see, we were done at the end of April, and Album came out September, and before the album even came out, we had just all these like amazing shows lined up, and we still do.
Yeah.
So it's been amazing. It's been an amazing experience.
Yeah, it's crazy how the band came together and how like you got a record deal like in no time. Guys are quitting other projects to join this one. It's fucking crazy.
And I was playing in my other band, and I felt really bad because I had a couple of songs that we were working on, and when we got the record deal, I was like, we needed songs really bad to start recording for Urethane. So I was like, hey guys, I'm gonna have to take these songs back.
No.
So I'm gonna have to leave the band for a little bit. And they were really cool, very supportive. They totally understood. You know,
That's good.
They would have done the same thing in my shoes. So yeah, they were really cool about it.
Wow. Okay.
Right.
So when you said the band snowballed very quickly, you weren't lying. It was like one thing after another after another. It just once it started, it just kept going.
Yeah, and a lot of this stuff, like, you know, I'm just a guy that plays in a local band, and so it kind of as things progressed, and you know, we're starting to play bigger and bigger shows, and you know, all this a lot of this stuff is new to me, so I'm kind of learning as I go as well. So.
Well, I mean, it seems like the momentum built up at like the perfect time. Like got the record deal at just the right time, put the album out just the right time, so you could just kind of roll right into playing shows. Everything kind of opened up as you were rolling it all out.
Yeah,
most definitely. Yeah, there's a lot of hiccups still, show cancellations at the last minute, and but yeah, I feel like everything's coming back, you know, roaring back full steam. So fingers crossed.
Hell yeah,
for sure. So can you tell us your favorite lyric off this album and the meaning behind it?
Oh, favorite lyric. I think Inheritance might be one of my favorite songs. I don't know about a specific lyric, but it was a song that I wrote. Sometimes songs take forever to write, and sometimes songs you can write in 10 minutes. And this was one that came really quickly, and I was able to, it was sort of like a metaphor for addiction. So it talks a lot about the things that are passed down from, you know, genetically from your family, the things that they give you, i.e. your inheritance is sort of kind of means addiction or mental illness or any of those things that like aren't in your control, and they're just given to you so that you have to figure out and deal with on your own. That song, I guess, really stood out to me as being like one that meant the most to me, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Solid. So what song on the album took longest to write?
Say again? What was the question?
What song on the album took the longest to write?
Well, considering that we wrote all of these in about 8 months, it was probably Inheritance, actually, because it went through a few drafts, and I think we finished it literally the night before we went to the studio.
Wow.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So how did the track list for the album come about? Did you guys write the opener to the opener, closer to the closer, just kind of shuffle it, listen through a couple times? What was the process like for that?
Well, I had 5 songs that were from my demo, which Steve and Dylan and I had been playing a bunch. So as soon as Chad came on, we just started. We were kind of desperate because it was kind of funny because we told Cameron Webb, who produced it, and Jen at the time, they were like, "Oh, you have 12 songs, you're ready to go, right?" And we're like, "Yeah, for sure." And we had like 6.
Yeah. Gotta fake it till you make it. Come on.
Yeah. So we were like, we needed any idea we could, so we were just pulling everything and anything out. But Yeah, so the other songs came relatively quickly, and I don't remember even. We were working on like 7 songs at a time, so it was kind of frantic.
Okay.
That's fair.
So where was your Headspace
When I
at?
listen back, actually, I don't feel like we shortchanged them at all. You know, I don't feel like I've recorded before and listened back and been like, oh man, I should have done this or I
Yeah.
should have done that. But I'm actually, I feel totally solid and confident on everything that we did, arrangement wise and lyric wise. So
Yeah, it's definitely a
good.
solid
So-
record for how fast it came together.
Mhm.
yeah. Well, Cameron was a huge help too. Cameron Webb, he helped us. I mean, we rearranged songs and lyrics based on his advice as well. So, you know, he had that objective ear that he could be like, no, don't do that, or, you know, accentuate the positive kind of thing and eliminate the negative. So,
Mhm.
yeah, he was good like that.
All right.
That's good.
So where was your Headspace at while you were writing this album?
Well, half of it, like I said before, it was kind of just stuck here in this living room with an acoustic guitar and nothing going on. So it was kind of I don't know, it was weird because it was kind of a bummer, but at the same time, there was so much free time to experiment with stuff that I probably never would have done had the pandemic not happened. Like, I don't know if I would have wrote these songs. This band wouldn't be around if the pandemic didn't happen. So it sort of diverted my attention for me to go a different direction for a little bit. So the negative headspace, I think, sometimes really boosts creativity for me. So that's kind of where I was. And then the other half was just like super fun, hanging out with my buds. So
Yeah.
That's good. That's very wholesome.
yeah.
So, how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should they play it in the car with friends? Should they play it in the dark with headphones on? Should they blast it at a party? What do you personally recommend?
I personally recommend as loud as you possibly can take it.
Mhm.
That's how I listen to stuff that I'm like pumped to listen to.
Mhm.
In my car, I'll just turn it as loud as I can. I
Mhm.
think that's how I hear everything.
Hell yeah.
For sure. That album definitely has this energy. So,
Yeah, it's got that sort of like
fits.
wall of guitars effect that Cameron's good at. So it's definitely a good one to listen to very loud.
Hell yeah.
yes.
Well, this question should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words, no more, no less.
Happy, sad, loud.
There you
Very
go. Perfect. So, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want this album to invoke in your listeners?
I want them to connect with it. So lyrically, I would like people to connect with it. I feel like the songs that I wrote were like personal to me,
Mhm.
and I know that other people go through a lot of similar things, especially last year and this year, and just in these times right now. So, yeah, if somebody, I've heard of a few people say like, I understand what that song's about because that's what I'm going through, and that's like everything for a songwriter to have somebody connect with a song. So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's good.
What band or artist influence you think you can hear the most on this album, if any?
What band or artist can I hear?
Yes.
A lot of people say Alkaline Trio, and
Mhm.
and I'm totally fine with that because I love Alkaline Trio, and they were and are a huge influence on me. A lot of 90s punk is kind of where the rest of us come from. That's kind of what we listen to a lot of the Fat Record stuff, a lot of the fast stuff. So, your NoFX, Bad Religion, Pennywise kind of thing. Yeah. But lyrically, I don't know. I'm all over the board. I listen to a lot of folk music, and I'm a lyric person, so I really hone in on a songwriter's lyrics. I'm listening to like Phoebe Bridgers right now.
Mhm.
She's amazing.
Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah.
That's weird to hear, considering that you were in like you're in a hardcore band, you're in a punk band, like, and you're like, oh, I listen to folk in my free time. So
Yeah, for
it
sure.
doesn't really line up, but you know.
Mm-mm.
I mean, if you listen to really good lyrics, they're from a folk song to a pop song to a punk song. They're, you know, good lyrics are good lyrics,
Mhm.
really. If they speak to you, then they're good lyrics.
So is that what you listen to music to for? Good lyrics, not like the instrumentals?
Um, I think I inherently just listen for lyrics after a while, but
Mhm.
I definitely listen for the hook and what's going to grab me in a song.
Mhm.
You know, that like first 30 seconds of a song kind of thing where it's like, skip.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. And I don't know, I feel like very, there's a lot of good music that does that. So, but yeah, I gravitate towards lyrics.
All right.
Sure. And just to go back to influences for like a hot second, I know you didn't mention them, but is Blink 182 like old Blink? Are they influenced at all?
No, not really.
Really?
I've heard that too.
Mhm.
And I mean, yeah, I never really listened to Blink that much. Yeah, not for me, but maybe for the other guys.
Okay, that's fair. It was the first thing that I heard. I was like, oh, this is so good.
Oh, really?
Hmm. But that's cool. Anyways, it's still great. Anyways,
Yeah, that's awesome.
mhm. So what is your favorite memory that you made while creating this album?
I think it would have to be recording was a lot of fun. I love the writing and recording process.
Mhm.
Like playing shows is a lot of fun, but it's more like a party atmosphere, and I don't know if people are really connecting with the music like they would if they're listening to an album, you know, and like concentrating and or getting into it, vibing with it. So just being able to nerd out with like a really good producer in a good studio was amazing for me.
All right.
And same with the other guys; they had a ton of fun doing it.
Mhm.
Hell yeah. So picture this: you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
I hate gas. Going on the road, and that you just like gave me PTSD. Going on the road and like eating at gas stations for like weeks is horrible.
I can imagine. Yeah.
I always try to get like the healthiest thing that they have, which is like Cliff Bars and Gatorade
Mhm.
and whatever kind of fruit they have. But yeah, I can't do all the sugary stuff and all that garbage.
You're doing
I'm gonna
fruit
say
from
Cliff Bar. Cliff Bar is my answer.
You do fruit from the gas station. Something
Yeah.
feels off about that. Like you got like an iron stomach or something.
That's like sushi from the gas station.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes the green grapes kind of hit there though. It's like you can kind of tell, and
When
you're
they've
like,
been
oh, those
sitting
are
out,
gonna be
they're
good.
starting to
I
become
would kill for
raisins.
green grapes at a gas station.
Wow. So for this question, I want you to tell us if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
These are creative questions.
Thank you.
I'm gonna say it would be pizza
Mhm.
because it has a lot of different toppings.
Okay. And what toppings
my opinion.
would those be?
And
And why?
I feel like this album specifically has a lot of different flavors to it, and I don't know if other people can hear that, but there's some mid-tempo, there's some double time fast stuff, and there's also acoustic song. So we kind of tried to cover the gamut on vibe.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
So where do you see the band in the next 5 years?
I see the band recording again next year and continuing to. Right now, we're not so much like touring, but we're playing in Southern California and Phoenix and Vegas. So we're kind of doing that like one-off weekend shows a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see more a commitment to actual touring.
And eating at lots of gas stations.
Yes, can't wait.
It's the highlight.
Like if you're vegan, I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I
Grapes.
won't hit the road, because I am vegan and there's no
Oh, are
way
you?
I would be able to make it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what would you do? Like probably have to pack your own food.
You'd have to pack a
Chips.
couple weeks worth of food and chips. Yeah.
Chips, yeah.
Hit a Whole Foods on the way.
Yeah, probably.
For like a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no touring for you.
No.
You can do it.
I'm good.
So for these last couple questions, we're actually going to shift away from music, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
6. We're actually going to go straight to Death Row.
Boom.
So
Death
if
Row
you're
Records?
no Death Row.
Like you're dying.
Okay.
So if you're on Death,
Okay.
unfortunately not. I wish though. That'd be pretty cool. So if you're on Death Row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Oh man, what would it be? I mean, I might as well go for like a double bacon cheeseburger
Mm-hmm.
and probably like, I don't know. I don't drink anymore, so nah, that wouldn't be that. Probably a large coffee.
All right.
Perfect. Gonna be wide awake for
All
that.
together.
Yeah.
but
So if you could live in one fiction world for a week, where would you live?
one fictional world.
Yes.
Mhm.
Like a planet? Like, what do you mean?
Like a book, movie, comic book, TV
Okay.
series, stuff like that.
I think I'd go Old West.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's like cowboys and
Like,
stuff, right?
like Tombstone, like late 1800s.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I was like fascinated with that stuff when I was a kid. The whole like Billy the Kid and Pat Garrett stuff. So, yeah, do that.
Okay.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah. So I actually have the honor of asking the last question. Every single person we've spoken to has actually said it is the most important question. What is your favorite color?
Blue.
Favorite specific shade?
Dark blue.
Okay, when we're saying like dark blue, are we talking about navy? Are we talking about like a sea blue? Like what, it's very
I'm
wide
thinking
spectrum.
More of like a deep sea blue. Yeah.
There you go.
All right. There we
Thank
go.
you. Thank you.
So as Gloria said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
When does this air?
In a couple of weeks.
Mhm.
Okay. We're going to be playing. We're announcing tomorrow that we're going to be playing the Sabam Fest in Austria next year.
Austria.
Ooh.
July,
Wow.
End of July, yeah, with Descendants and Millencolin and a million other amazing bands.
Yeah.
And we will be on the Flogging Molly cruise in March.
Okay.
With the Descendants as well and Flogging Molly. And buy the album. It's the pre-sale I think is still up for vinyl on cybertracksrecords.com or cybertracks.com. So get your vinyl and listen to the record. It's on Spotify and all the other digital platforms.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for now. That's been Tim from Urethane, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.